Hi, church. Welcome back to our fourth and final week of DNA formation. Today we're going to focus on the letter A for act. The first week we focused on the letter D for discover. And together as a church, we read through Philippians chapter 1. Now, I want to encourage you as your group continues on past these weeks to, if you want, to keep reading through the book of Philippians. I think that's a great place to be reading as Pastor Matt is speaking on it on our Sunday gatherings. Or you could pick a different section of the Bible if you guys want. But the important thing is that every week that you're in the Word, both individually and together, asking the four questions: who is God? What has He done? Who are we in light of that? And how should we live? The second week we focused on the letter N for nurture. And we talked about how despite what we know in our head and despite what we're learning and discovering or remembering about God, we don't always believe it in our hearts. And so we want to align what we believe in our hearts with what we know in our head. And so while I say that God is sovereign and I affirm that He's all-powerful, I worry every day. I worry. And so in those moments of worrying, what I'm believing in my heart is not aligning with what I know to be true in my head. And so each week as we gather as a group, we want to be asking the Holy Spirit to reveal those areas in our hearts where we're still not fully believing in the gospel. And so that's another important thing. So that was nurture. Now this week, we're going to focus on the letter A for act. And we are going to empower our hands to actually do something with what we're learning and with how we're nurturing our heart. We actually want to live this out in practical ways. And so as we gather each week, we want to take a few minutes and just pray and ask the Holy Spirit to show us what He wants us to do with this information in our time together. And that can take the form of two different ways. Number one, it could be, what do you want us to do with this? Just ask the Holy Spirit, what do you want us to do this week? And it could be, a phone call you need to make to restore a relationship. It could be, a bad habit you might need to kick. It could be any number of things. Or it could be somebody that you're supposed to tell. So it can be, what should I do or who should I tell? Because as we're gathering and we're renewing our faith in the gospel and we're repenting of our unbelief, we're going to have stories to tell. And we want to take those stories and we want to tell our friends, our coworkers, our neighbors. We want to share the good news of the gospel with them. And so it could be that Jesus has somebody in mind that He wants you to share with. And so ask the Holy Spirit every time you get together, what do you want me to do or who do you want me to tell? I'm filming in my office today. And this office, my workplace, is another field where I'm constantly asking the Holy Spirit to open my eyes and open my ears so that I can, listen well to my coworkers. And it could be that, when you gather together as a DNA group, you'll feel the Holy Spirit prompting you to invest more fully in your workplace and your coworkers. Take them out for lunch once a week and just get to know them and listen to their stories. And so that could be part of it too. But wouldn't it be so amazing if, every week as we are gathering as a church together and we're discovering more about God and we're repenting of our unbelief and we're renewing our faith in the gospel, that we actually, that has practical implication on our life, on our day-to-day life and on our weekly life. We want to be a people who not only declare the gospel, but we want to demonstrate the gospel in practical, tangible ways. And so each week as you gather, spend some time thinking about how you can do that, and most importantly, just pray and ask the Holy Spirit to show you, and He will. And so this is the fourth and final week of DNA formation. This is just the tip of the iceberg, you guys. So we have lots more exciting information to share with you. If you want to continue to check back here, you're welcome to do that. Otherwise, go and grow in your knowledge and declare the gospel.